Hello, this is I'm Xander with Group Two, and today we're gonna present our presentation for the final project. And throughout this 8 weeks, we have made a planner application that we kind of nicknamed Homemade Happenings. This is for the Systems, Software Analysis, and Project class at Ivy Tech Community College. Our professor or instructor is Leah Osborne, and the people who made the program is me, Xander Jewell, Michaela White, Thomas Wierenski, and Tanner Hadley. So we'll begin with the first slide, which is the various documents that we created. Throughout the various weeks, we had to make different documents that kind of related to the project. So a requirements document, a feasibility study document, a project plan document, risk assessment, design document, and then user documentation. And there was obviously other documents that we created as well, but these are some of the main ones that we created. So we'll kind of go through these ones and show you guys the most important ones of these documents. So the requirements document, we kind of figured out the requirements of our application. So we obviously needed a home page, a login page, a budget page, a to-do page, a contact page, and then an overview page. We just kind of wanted to get the basics of if you were going to plan an event, what kind of information would you love to put in that event? So we kind of did that, and we also found a detailed page later. We decided that the user may also want to put like the date of the wedding or like the date of their certain event. So we obviously found that as well. In terms of system architecture, we decided we're going to use Python and tkinter using Python, and also SQLite 3. These three, I guess, programming languages in a way helped us complete this project, as tkinter obviously did the GUI portion of our project. Python was the sort of backend, and the SQLite 3 was the database that we were able to save the user information that you would enter for your event. System evolution, we were trying to get this project done in 4 to 5 weeks, and we were mostly able to do this as we kind of been finished, but we are just finalizing everything right now. And then we found out the life cycle, so requirements, analysis, design, coding, testing, deployment, and review. So we kind of used this life cycle throughout our project, and it helped us deliver a great product. Next, we have the feasibility study. We found that throughout all the feasibility and legality of the project plan, we are able to do it both legally and it would be technically feasible for our group to do. It does contribute to our objectives of the organization, which was to deliver a great product that would help people in their everyday lives. And then finally, we said, can the system be implemented within the 8-week class that we have? And we found out that yes, we could do that within the time, and it's the budget too, since it's all online, so we don't have to spend any money additionally to get our project done. In terms of the project plan, this is kind of the big document that we created. It kind of helped us along the way as kind of a blueprint for us. So first we divided project responsibility. So I was the design lead. We had Michaela and Tanner as sort of programmers helping along the way. And then Thomas was a overall group organizer and project organizer. We found possible risks. So as you see right there, that's just a couple of the risks that we found. And there was many more that we found, but it was just nice to see, if something goes wrong, what could we do to fix it? And then obviously another thing that we created was a work breakdown stretcher. This is common in most projects. You'll see a WBS, as it's known, just kind of shows you what kind of work you'll be doing throughout. Next, we also found some other things for the project plan, including process flow diagrams that were done by Michaela. She created several of these, just showing the overall workings of the system and how everything would kind of come together to create a product. Thomas did the project schedule, as you can see here. Just showing like, hey, let's do this at this date, let's get this done, just to keep us in line and check so we don't get held up by other tasks and not get caught far behind and off schedule. And then the appendix is showing like if there was confusing tasks or confusing terms on the project plan that we created, that they would be defined here. Next document we created was a risk assessment. Some risks that we identified, these were just a few of them. The project size increases too much and the team is not skilled enough, or the team begins to crunch regularly. And you can see the probability of those risks. They were pretty low. One was moderate. And then all the effects were serious, but throughout our project, we did not incur any of these. If we did, we were able to solve it very quickly and not have to deal with it right at the turn-in date. So next document that we created was a design document. We created an entity relationship diagram just showing, what certain tags or variables would go to what page. So how they all kind of intertwined into one big data entry for the event. We also created an architecture design program diagram, as you can see right here. We also created the class diagram, because kind of along the same lines, just showing what kind of classes we would use throughout the project and how they would all help to get your event in line. The database design, so kind of along with the SQLite 3, just showing, hey, here's what's going to be put into the database, and then you can all access this later when you access the end of the program, which we will show you later in this presentation. I also created some use cases for the design document, just showing how a user would interact with our program. And then finally, I think one of the last documents that we'll talk about here is the user documentation. We just did this last week, just kind of a wrapping up of sorts. So installation, you can use the application on a Replit, which we will show you later, or you can download from GitHub, which if you need the link, you can just ask us. And then if you download it from GitHub, you will have to use a interpreter like Visual Studio or any other interpreter that you can find online. And then a user guide, just kind of like a pamphlet, just a helping hand for a user if they were able to use our application. Now I will send it over to someone else for the project summary information.
Thank you, Xander. So what these all documents represent is our in-software solution that we are developing. Um, as we saw earlier, the project is developed in Replit and code in Python. These were all things we were familiar with, so we thought this would be like very simple for us to develop in, and it seemed it would be best for the software solution we are designing for. Um, Software has the main page is a home, a login page, detail, budget, to do, contact, and overview page. All those are outlined in the various documents we mentioned before. And the software as a whole is aimed to be an event planning application that you can log in, save the events, and be able to give detailed lists of what that event will be and who will be at that event, such as contact info of the people that will be at the event, the budget that the event will have. All this will be in the application. Next slide.
I'll talk about this one, the list of tools. So in terms of communication, we use Discord. Discord is a great chatting service that allowed us as a group to communicate each other using text, voice call, or video calls. Then we also use Trello. Trello is a project management application of sorts. Allows you to create tasks and then assign those tasks to different team members. So it kind of helped us see in like what was the progress for the week or who was on what task. So it definitely helped us in that matter. In terms of collaboration, we use Google Docs and Replit. Google Docs was mainly for our documentation. So the documents I talked about earlier were all done on Google Docs, and it all allows us to collaborate at the same time with each of our group members on a single document. So there would be nights where we were all working on one document, but Google Docs allowed us to work on that same document at the same time and see our progress in real time. Replit kind of works like Google Docs. It's all coding, so you can all collaborate on code together at the same time. And we use that. We definitely had some nights throughout the project where we had to work together on code, and we were able to see each other's progress in real time. But various other tools, various YouTube videos, online tutorials, internet searches, and anything else that you could probably find on the internet just to kind of help us if we ran into a problem or ran into something that we were stuck on maybe a application problem or something. So a lot of tools that helped us get this project done. So for the application component summary, I'll send it back over to Tanner.
Thank you. So the things we've actually had success with, we can go from page to page easily and fluidly. You can budget the whole event well, that the calculations work very, very well. People are saved to the software, like the contact list seen in the image over there. You can see the event details, to-do list, budget, contact list. You can customize these all in the application, and the application will walk you through every one of these steps fluidly. And you can even go back to any of these pages at any point in time to edit any value of these you can edit. You can also remove things from these pages. So and that is the success we've had with the application. Our attempts, we were able to display the event details, but we're not able to display username or various like login info. We try to put that in the event details, and we could not get it to function that well. And new users work, but they don't save in the database for like next time you open the software. And a failure that we have, what made the application remember the users we input into it. You could log into the software just fine every time, but it would be new user every time you open the application. And if initially wanted it so the application could remember you even if you closed it. But in the end, we could not get this to work. We didn't have like the time or experience to make this work, but we made something as close as possible to this.
Thank you, Tanner. Now I will be conducting the live test. So the test of the software, it will be ran on Replit. The test will be conducted by me, Xander Jewell, and then I will just show you by using some simple test data to show you that what you can do in the application. So let me get over to the application quick. Okay, so you can see here, Homemade Happenings. We have our homepage and the Ivy Tech banner at the bottom right, just showing who created the application and the college we obviously attend, Ivy Tech. So if we click to start the event, username, event coordinator name, and then the event name. So I'm just going to do, Xander 45-6, something along those lines. It has to be it does have to be a unique name every single time for it to properly work. Event coordinator, I'll just say myself, and then the event name, we'll just go with, my wedding. So when you get that done, you're going to press get started. And then get started, it's going to say, tell us about your event. So event location, I'll just say Fort Wayne, Indiana. I live around that area. We're going to do that. Event date, let's say, 5/5/25. I'm not planning on getting married soon, but, maybe next year. Who knows? And then we'll just say, it's my wedding, exclamation point. So when we get all that filled out, we're just going to say, let's get planning. So we're going to go to the budget. That will take you to the budget page. So first, you're going to put in your budget amount. Let's say 2,500. Probably going to spend more on the wedding, but for test purposes, let's just say 2,500. So we're going to save that. And you can see right here, it says 2,500 for total remaining. So let's say, maybe get, decorations, and, the decorations cost, I don't know, 1,500. Expensive decorations, but that's just decorations. So when you have those filled in, you're going to press add to budget. And then when you add the budget, you can see that first it lays it out right here that your decorations for 1,500. And then it says total remaining is 1,000. So it does that. Then we're going to press next. If we don't want to add any more, we're just going to go to the to-do list. And this is kind of like your task. So let's say, get decorations. And we're going to say, that's a medium for right now. So medium. So you see tasks as get decorations, and then the priority level is a medium. So let's say we're just going to do that for now, and then we're going to go to contact list. So let's say, I want to invite, I don't know, some guy named Timothy. He's a good friend of mine, I guess. We're just going to put in a random number. I don't want to expose anybody's number, so we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. He is reserved, and he is a guest. So we're going to add him, as we can see, name, Timothy, number, blank, reserve status, yes, vendor, guest, he's a guest. And also in the bottom left corner, you can see that since he's a guest and he is reserved, they were able to add one to the guest total right here. Now vendor is still 0 because obviously we don't have any vendors yet. So let's say we're done with that. So we've added all the details that we could want as of this moment. So we're going to go to event overview, and you can see all in this nice little page right here is your event details. So the first page we entered, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 5-5. It's my wedding. We all enter that, and you can see it here. Your tasks, you can see them here. Your budget total and the budget left, obviously because of the decorations, and then the guest total. So it may be a simple application, but I believe we've implemented a lot, and we've kind of exceeded our expectations on some of these things. So I believe we create a great product here, and it really does help the user maybe track an event, and hopefully with more time and more resources, you would be able to make a really great product throughout this throughout this project duration. But that's all I got for the project presentation. And before I end this, you can obviously go back to each page, go back through and add more stuff or whatever. But yeah, that's it for the application test. So let me go back to the slideshow here, and then for future enhancements, we will go to Michaela with that slide.
So for future enhancements to this specific project, one thing that we would like to do in future iterations is add a login capability. So users that have used this app previously can come and log in using their username to continue editing their event. Also, our next future iteration would be to like add a gift registry. Maybe you could like link any store that you want, be it like Target or Amazon or anything, and then you can go directly there and kind of have it on hand. And then also being able to update specific aspects of the event. For example, sorting your tasks by priority, sorting your guests by which type of guest they are, if they've reserved or not, as well as just being able to like delete guests or task items or even budget items, and just being able to update and delete as you go. And then also allowing users to have multiple events because you can only have one event per user at this point. We would like to expand that to different events, such as maybe like a baby shower, wedding, party, birthday party, those sides of things. So that way it's not just like one event per each email.
Thank you for getting Michaela, and then we'll go to frequently asked questions, and that is Thomas. So he has the floor right now.
So I've curated a list of 7 questions that I think would be frequently asked if people are asking questions. And the very first one is, how do I run the project? And again, these things have been touched on throughout the presentation, but I want to call extra attention to them. And to run the project, there are 2 options. The first is with Replit, and to do that, you'll open the link to the Replit, and you'll have to select the option to fork and run within Replit. And to do that, you'll have to create a Replit account. Now this is the easier method, but it does require creating an account with Replit. Without Replit, you can go to our GitHub page and download all of the files. But if you do that, you have to make sure you also have all the libraries installed and the interpreter to run the project. And what was the biggest challenge in creating the project? That would be data management. As was touched on, we had issues with the database saving things and with pulling information between the different pages on the application. But again, we planned for something like this to possibly happen, and so we were able to remove what we needed to make a functional project. Why did you choose to do the project the way you did? The entire group was pretty comfortable with the idea pitched by Michaela, and we were all at least semi-fluent in Python, and so the project just flowed from there. Why can't I use the program to do X? There's a couple options. Either X was something we didn't even think about, and I'm sure there's dozens of those instances, or we just ran out of time. But either way, if this were more than just assignment, if this were an actual product, we would take user feedback and further improve the project. What was the software development cycle like? So we used a form of agile development. So we were constantly making small incremental changes and testing them. We do one function at a time, maybe change one line of the function at a time and test it, as opposed to writing a whole page and testing that all at once. And then we did regular meetings as a whole, and communications in between those meetings to set objectives and priorities. Why did you choose Replit? This was already discussed, but Replit is essentially Google Docs for code. And it worked well because some of us were already familiar with Replit, and it saved us from having to manage push and pull requests if we had hosted with something like GitHub. What was the biggest change from our initial vision? There are kind of two of those. One of those would be removing the permanent save data. This was our solution to not being able to make the save work. And then the alternate or the other option or for our biggest change is doing away with classes entirely, because it was just simpler and honestly faster to pull the information directly from the widgets. And now, if there was a actual live audience, we'd open up at the board for questions. There's not a live audience, but feel free to contact any of us, and especially me, since I'm leading the Q&A with any questions. I think that's all we have for you.
Thank you, Thomas. And yep, that's basically all we have for today. And I believe throughout these 8 weeks, we made a great product. And as you saw throughout the presentation, it could do a couple of things that will definitely help with your event. And if you have any questions, as Thomas said, don't be afraid to ask any one of us. And if you would you like to use the code for yourself? We can always give you the GitHub code or send you the link to the Replit. Anyway, so just thank you for watching our video today, and we hope you have a great day.